You mean George W. Bush, the most evangelical president we may have ever had, is going to see an offspring of angels and humans and not use that to justify his war? Come on.
He would have
Come
won a
on.
third term.
This
He would
is
have won the write-in votes alone with the Bible Belt.
this is what he meant when he was saying he was looking for weapons of mass destruction. Actually, this is where it all starts.
Someone unscrambled that and it's like, I am Nephilim or something.
Truly, truly.
It actually stands for Willy Massive Dudes.
Welcome to Bible Boys, a podcast where two ex-evangelical siblings and an ex-Catholic non-sibling watch Christian media and either praise or condemn it. I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
And I'm a Nephilim.
This week we deviate from our miniseries to cover the history behind an unhinged Twitter thread we saw over the weekend with the Nephilim conspiracy. Before we rip off some of the most beloved animes of the 90s, please be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, like and comment on our video, and follow us on Twitter at The Bible Boys. So I saw something on Twitter this week.
I was about to say, Aaron, explain yourself.
This one's my fault. You all know how on Bible Boys all the most rancid shit comes from me because I'm a pervert. Like, here's the thing, like, I'll always be like, oh, Michael makes us always watch all these artsy movies, but also these horror movies. And I was like, oh, Josh's taste is so bad. Josh is always making us watch dumb shit like the Velocipass. I'm the real problem here. And this is gonna be one of those episodes where it's like, oh, this is, yeah, why do you, what?
I just have to say, and I do expect the money to arrive in my bank account before we're done with this. Aaron, you've ruined my YouTube. My YouTube recommendations are torched. I'm gonna have to start over.
Oh yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. I'm getting like a whole bunch of bad stuff.
I watched this logged out in a private browser so I wouldn't ruin my YouTube algorithm.
Private Edge, right? You don't want to use your main Google Chrome or Firefox. No, you gotta completely different. Yeah, no, it's bad.
Michael went to the one remaining public library in New York and watched this while another dude tried to download porn next to him.
I streamed it from Columbia's library.
There we go.
They're gonna
That'll
send
show
you a
those
letter.
liberal institutions what's what.
They're gonna send you someone just to check up on you.
Like, hey, bud, are you okay?
They're like, are fights killing you? Like, is that what's going on? Yes, they are.
All right. So here's the thing. You might have saw this if you're an online person, so I'm sorry if you've already seen this, but this is a Twitter thread posted April 27th by @dagger_and_bullet. Great start.
I didn't know that. I didn't notice.
But this person says, a lot of you haven't properly thought through how we're going to fight the Nephilim when they resurface, but you should, and posted it with a picture of what I can only describe as like a red-haired fire giant with a big spear impaling a United States soldier. And I was like, I saw this because somebody, Sam Wee, actually a game designer that I follow, retweeted this, and they were like, man, I hope there's mommy giants. And I was like, all right, whatever, Sam. But then I looked closer into this, and I was like, oh wait, this is a Christian conspiracy theory. I gotta look into this.
And that's when I discovered that neither of my co-hosts were in the fucking trenches of conspiracy theory tube in like 2012 to 2016, because this was a very, very popular story that got passed around that is so weird and dumb that I just kind of assumed everyone experienced it, much like I did. I believe everyone experienced church camp when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I look like a fool when I talk about it too confidently.
I just find that my internet reality is so different from either of yours, because mine tends to be I get a lot of unsolved mysteries and like disappearances and like paranormal stuff. But this was like not even on my radar. I had no idea that there were people out there that believed that the Nephilim actually existed and are presently in Afghanistan or Antarctica.
I will say that most people go down a route that like Michael is on that I don't think he will continue, where you get into true crime and then you get into conspiracies and then you like fall deeper into this rabbit hole. I'm climbing out of the rabbit hole. I started down in the muck. I started with fucking aliens are reptilians, and that is where YouTube started my career. And now I'm coming out the top going like, murders are weird.
You're Bane in the pit, basically.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Thanks, YouTube. Thanks for radicalizing young Josh.
But in the opposite way.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to read through some of the responses because I think they're very funny. And then, Josh, you can tell us about the Kandahar Giant. So Dagger and Bullet goes on to reply to this tweet and says, the Saudis currently have a living one in a well-guarded facility. Doors are 15 feet high, so make of that what you will. I don't believe he's a prisoner. Normal shit. And then, like, you know, I keep reading, you know, through all of this, and I keep like trying to figure out what all the replies to this are. You know, at some point, you know, this person says, you know, from what I've been reading, there's a whole compound of them in Antarctica, and our globalist leaders types keep going down there for meet and greets. And then some people who are like, oh yeah, I agree with you, but like I'm not worried because this is a giant with a spear. I have guns. Or like one of the people is like, yeah, I'm just gonna fight like the way that David fought a giant with a slingshot. And he's like, no. David was chosen. God would have helped him beat Goliath with a MyPillow. We are normal folks. Unless one of you shows me a high velocity headshot with a sling, I'm assuming that method is out. It pretty much devolves from there. And then some people are like, one person posts like a picture of the Kandahar Giant with like, you know, the people, like it's a drawing basically, but like this is from the story that Josh is going to tell us about. But like basically he's like, you know, somebody asked for like evidence of this. This person posts this drawing, and then somebody says that's a drawing, and this guy says, yep, this is a conversation about U.S. soldiers killing a frost giant in Kandahar. What level of serious are we here? Which I think is really good.
That dude thought he was RPing, and like he was so excited to get involved with this fun little RP thread, and then someone got a little too serious.
Right. Again, like you can tell the kind of person that this dude is. Like, he's like, the government will be on their side. You keep up bringing up Hellfire's tanks, and he says those folks are the government. He says that they're strong, they're fast, and fucking you up is thy priority. Molotovs and ARs will probably work, but the attrition rate of US will be real. Maybe IEDs. I really love the idea that we're gonna do IEDs to fight the Nephilim.
I like the idea that we have to use fucking guerrilla tactics against these 15-foot tall stick-holding giants.
I like the idea that like offspring of angels have nothing better to do than to go to war with humans. Like,
No.
I don't know. I feel like they would have more interesting things to think about than us.
No, but like this is
why like conspiracies just like never end up working on me. I don't think humanity's that interesting. Like we are fascinating and very interested in ourselves, but aliens are gonna look at us and be like, why the fuck would we ever touch them with anything?
Right.
And Nephilim's gonna look at us and be like, why get involved? They're doing a good job of destroying themselves.
Right. This is the logical output of Left Behind, right, where you create a worldview that is entirely based on the Armageddon coming, and then you start, being like, well, there's giants in the Bible, so, and I watched that 2014 movie with the big watchers, so I think I'm gonna have to get some armor-piercing rounds to shoot Russell Crowe, is what I'm saying.
I will not believe in one of these conspiracies until they explain to me how the Nephilim are going to make oil executives richer. Once I get that piece connected, then I'm fucking fully behind. But until I can understand how the Exxon CEO is getting another yacht out of this, I don't think he cares.
Right. No. We'll talk about some of the leaders that get named in the terrible videos that we watch. But so this image, right, of this giant killing a U.S. soldier comes out of a specific story. And Josh, I was kind of hoping you could tell us about when you learned about the Kandahar giant, and I could fill in with some of the YouTube videos we watched. But what's your exposure? And what's your research found?
Yeah, so I first saw this forever ago. I think I saw a video with the thumbnail that like you showed, and it was like "Giants are real?" ? U.S. soldier tells all. And I was like, okay, I'll take a break from watching Jenna Marbles, and I clicked on it. And
how the mighty have fallen in the midst of battle. This is why you got to stay on the straight and narrow, Josh.
Yeah,
I'm the reason we lost Jenna.
And
I clicked on it, and the story that I heard was always more of this idea of like, we don't fucking know what's out there. Like, it's crazy what creatures could exist in like the deep caves of Afghanistan. It was a while until I heard the fact that they might be the offspring of angel and men. But the whole story is that like a group of U.S. soldiers went missing, and they never called for backup, and that was weird. So they sent in like a team to go investigate these tunnels to figure out what was going on. And then suddenly they were attacked by they always say a red-headed giant who just kebabs one of the guys just right through the fucking whole torso. And then this part I always love. They just fucking shoot him.
They turn him into Swiss cheese is what happens.
And then just shoot him, and each story is like, and then we fired on him for 45 minutes straight. He was dead after the first minute, but you never know.
It's truly, every single story is just like, we unloaded and then we reloaded and then we kept shooting and he was bulletproof until he wasn't.
This is just one more moment of even in conspiracy, America's obsessed with its guns. Like,
right.
You really think that we need 45 minutes of this? Do you think that we really need to like unload everything on this giant? Like, it is a giant. And if it's descended from angels, it's either bulletproof or it's not. One of those is true.
Truly, like, listen, if you're talking about RPG shit, right? This dude is immune to non-magic damage. I don't know what you're gonna do. Fucking look up some spells, like learn how to do fireball, because your fucking AR is not gonna do shit to this.
Nope. But this story always reminded me of the scene from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where they put together that demon and he's like, no mortal weapon can kill me, and they just shoot him with a bazooka. Like, that is what they did for this tall gentleman.
Truly.
But the story always ends with, like, the government covering it up and trying to erase that there was a giant in a cave. And that always confused me as a kid. Because even as a child, I was like, why, though? And especially at the age I was at, I was like, you don't think George Bush would have loved this? You're telling me George Bush wouldn't have been all over this? I just can't believe it.
You mean George W. Bush, the most evangelical president we may have ever had, is going to see an offspring of angels and humans and not use that to justify his war? Come on.
He would have won a third term. He would have won the write-in votes alone with the Bible Belt.
This is what he meant when he was saying he was looking for weapons of mass destruction, actually. This is where it all starts.
Someone unscrambled that, and it's like, I am Nephilim or something.
Truly.
It actually stands for Willy Massive Dudes.
Stop. God damn it. This is a stupid podcast.
Okay,
Watching both of you get there at the same time made my week. It's only Monday.
I am 14 minutes into this recording, and I can say confidently this is the most unhinged podcast we've ever recorded, and we have watched God's Not Dead twice.
God's Not Dead at least doesn't fuck with the supernatural until the very end.
I'm not talking about. I will scream over both of you. We cannot talk about God's Not Dead if it's not the fucking movie
God's
we're
Not
on.
Dead 5, they're going to
I'm not allowing Aaron to get through this.
Pastor Dave gets an assault rifle. He goes to fight the Watchers. I'm telling you, it's gold.
It's gotta be an AR.
None other than Russell Crowe.
Oh my god! I want. Oh my. Okay. That's in our Patreon.
Did you guys see Russell Crowe loves the king?
Is that true?
Yeah, he put out a whole like Twitter thread this morning about he's like, listen, I'm not a monarchist. I love the king though. He was nice to me the one time I met him. And it was like 14 tweets long about how the king's a good bloke.
Love that weirdo so much.
I'm looking up to see what his nationality is real quick. He's a Kiwi! What are you doing?
I thought he was Scottish.
He was born in New Zealand.
I thought he was Australian.
Spent 10 years of his life in Australia and then moved there permanently. But he was born in New Zealand.
Michael, are you thinking of like Gerard Butler?
Gerard Butler is Scottish.
Confused.
Yeah. Gerard Butler, completely different guy.
One was Gladiator, one was 300. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Very similar movies.
But Russell Crowe's the friend of the pod.
All right.
Which one's in Plane?
That would be Gerard Butler.
Which one's Gerard Way?
That's the lead singer of Panic at the Disco.
We're gonna get this is the one we get the negative.
All of those people can be on the podcast, by the way. It's not Panic at the Disco, is it?
That wasn't a joke.
I thought that was a joke.
It's one of them. What's
Michael,
the other one? What's the other one?
Nope, Aaron, you can't Google it. You gotta
It's
get it on your own before the end. I'm moving on.
One of my Tumblr followers was obsessed with them for a long time. What is it?
Yeah, my girlfriend.
That's also, yeah, sorry, Bailey. Moving on. I'm just gonna have to Google that on my own time. So, they're talking about the Kandahar Giant a lot. This is a thing that is, like, as Josh said, this is a thing that allegedly happened in 2002, but resurfaced around 2016. And like, one of the videos I watched talk about how, like, you'll remember when Donald Trump dropped a Moab on ISIS and was like really horny about it?
I was hoping you'd bring this up.
Oh, good. You have research about this.
I do. I don't know what theories you came across, but I found two.
My only one is that Donald Trump was trying to kill the fucking Watchers in the tunnels with the big bomb, and that's all I found.
So the one I found was it explained the Moab and then ended with, now what did he wake up?
Oh, okay. This is they dug too deep situation. This is
they dug too deep.
Donald
the
Trump, yeah, unleashes the Balrog, right?
But yeah, I did also see that they used the Moab to kill the giants because the small arms fire apparently, even though that does it, we definitely need to get artillery involved.
To be fair, that is kind of the American military's whole thing. It's like, we could kill this person with one rifle, but instead we're going to send fucking AC-130 and shoot this person 100 million times with explosives from the air. This is going to cost taxpayers $2 billion, but it is worth it.
I can also see Trump hearing about like the giants and just being like, well, we need the biggest bomb to hit them. So maybe these people did their research.
Hey, but again, do we really think that President Donald J. Trump could keep this shit a secret?
Yeah, that's another thing I don't believe.
Or
Mike Pence?
No, Mike Pence would have gone over there personally, right?
And slayed them with a sword.
Right.
Like, he would have been on a horse charging them shirtless. So war horny.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, everyone in Mar-a-Lago would know about this. Like, it would be leaked to, like, whatever. It would be on page 6, actually. It's where it would be leaked to. Page 6 would have reported on this.
That's the thing that you kind of have to, like, that's the only downside of the Trump presidency, in my opinion, is that is that now we all know all conspiracy theories are fake.
Because he was batting 1,000 except for that one.
Yeah, I mean, just like, okay, that is a joke, by the way. Just want to clarify real quick. But no, it's very funny to think that, like, he's the stupidest person he's one of the stupidest people to ever be president of the United States, and, like, it is kind of a shame. It's like, oh, aliens aren't real because we would know about them by now.
Yeah, or he just wasn't intellectually curious enough to read about the alien.
That's true. He might have got the alien briefing and then I'm not reading this shit. I have to watch 8 hours of Fox.
I do imagine someone was telling him about the Nephilim while Fox is just blaring, and Tucker Carlson's like, "I don't want to fuck the green M&M anymore." Meanwhile, a guy's like, "Dude, the sons of God, the sons of angels, and the daughters of man are fighting us."
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, Josh. This idea of the Nephilim, if you aren't, a sicko like us, comes from Genesis 6:4, where they talk about, fallen angels, the idea of Lucifer's rebellion being cast down into earth, and the fallen angels, taking earth women, I guess that's the best way to put it, and marrying them and having kids with them, and that's where the Nephilim come from. And this is just in the Bible, that there are just giants in the Bible. And it's, one of the cooler parts of the Bible, IMO.
Yeah, and then it's all in the Book of Enoch, which is just edited out because people are so lazy and not creative and don't want cool shit in the Bible.
And that was directly a quote from one of the videos Aaron made us watch.
I mean, it kind of was, right? They're just Enoch has all the good shit, and I'm going to read it because the Pope won't let me. So go ahead.
Can I talk about the one video that you made us watch where it was are these angels worse than the devil?
Yes, is this the what's his name? Mr. Lion of Judah?
I think so. But the whole premise was that the devil isn't in hell because the Bible said he's like a lion that roams.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wow, if only that was a metaphor. But anyway, and he was
we have to stop for just 1 second. Can you imagine being a biblical literalist? I can't imagine, even when I was a Christian, it was no, the earth was not made in 7 days. That's just not logical. That doesn't make any sense. I can't imagine being a literalist and being yes, obviously, literally, the devil is like a lion, and so is Jesus.
It's a little much.
Yeah.
It's the most exhausting profession out there. I also hate in all of these videos where they say almost all biblical scholars agree. It's I've met biblical scholars. I don't know what the next word you're about to say is. They don't.
Yeah, I just wanted to be
scholars never agree.
Most of them don't even agree if there's a God.
I do want to talk about this specific YouTuber, Lion of Judah, because he does, in his videos, immediately be so this is fake. So at the end of the video, which is titled "The Real Location of the Fallen Angels in Nephilim," at the very end, he's just hey, by the way, you should focus on your prayer life and relationship with the Lord. Maybe stop watching these videos and worrying about the Nephilim. He says it in a very hypnotic way, and all his videos are edited in a way that you can't really tell what is happening during them. The information is all one big stream of consciousness, blob, but at the very end he's by the way, this is fake. And then in another one, Strange Sightings of Nephilim Giants Across the World, he starts with who were the Nephilim? Well, it doesn't really matter, actually. And then proceeds to make a 10-minute video that has 500,000 views. So I don't know, but I do like that he's just straight up this is stupid.
Yeah, and I like when he includes it in the beginning, not the end, because to me, including it at the end is such a cop-out.
No one watches the end.
No one watches it all the way through, and yeah, you're doing a disservice to people who are clearly listening to you and believing you.
Yes, yeah. Listen,
just to complete the point on the video of the fallen angels, I did find it absolutely wild that they were and don't listen to media that tries to say the devil is, in prison torturing, or in hell prisoned and torturing people. And I was yeah, media. Dante's Inferno. Big Hollywood execs tried to lie to me. But I just loved that because that's what immediately came to mind. I'm man, he hates Dante, and I do too, but for different reasons.
Yeah, it's a good time. There are definitely other you can get into this there's talk about how this history of finding angels or jinn or whatever in the quote unquote Middle East is like a very like a historical thing, right? You know, there are people who talk about the city of Irem, which allegedly is like the empty quarter in Afghanistan, and like this shows up in H.P. Lovecraft in the Necronomicon. Right. So there's a history of people being like, yeah, there's weird shit out there in the Middle East. And because it has that history of being related to Christianity and Judaism and Islam, right? Like there's a bunch of people who, you know, it's pretty easy to make that comparison to be like, okay, there's something supernatural happening in the Holy Land. And like, it's fun to tie that in. And that's all well and good, I guess. But, where we start getting a little bit, you know, weird is where we start talking about Antarctica, because I was like, we've got about 20 minutes of talking about the Kandahar Giant before we get bored. I do want to talk about this insane person who thinks that the angels are in Antarctica. I only found like a couple of videos of this, but there's this conspiracy theorist, Stephen Ben Nun. He works for his YouTube channel is like, what is it called?
Israeli News or something like that?
Yes, it's Israeli News Live. Which is a bad start.
It's wild. It's just wild.
Isn't he the one that quotes Russian news outlets? Almost?
Yes. Exclusively. Yes. He's like, Russian media told me this, and the Americans are covering it up. But basically...
Finally, the truth.
Free advice from someone who's like not all that like flag wavy. If you're getting your news from a Russian site, you should get offline. You should log off, go outside, breathe some fresh air.
Specifically, a Russian state media.
Well, they're all state media. That's the thing.
Is the issue.
That's the problem. It's not me being red scary about like us versus them. It's just simply there's only state media. So.
Listen, I think there's a lot of problems in American media. I think that a corporate-owned media has really damaged reporting as a profession in our country. And also, I think you should really be skeptical if you're getting your news from any Russian source, because the ones that they allow to get published, you know, have been vetted in a certain way. But basically, this conspiracy theorist Ben Nun, he talks about how the Germans of the Third Reich had an Antarctic base, which is like, okay, so we're starting with the Nazis, bad start.
And I get why people want to do this, because like the Nazis were obsessed with like mystical shit quite famously, right. Where a lot of higher up Nazis were just into some fucking weird alchemy, Norse power, like fucked up weird magic shit on top of all of their other horrendous beliefs. So I get why you'd want to start there. It's just wild the connection he draws from Nazis to certain modern day politicians.
Yeah, I don't know if Mr. Ben Nun is actually a practicing Jewish person, but I don't know. It seems very bad for somebody to be tying Christian conspiracy theorists to the Nazis and then be reporting from Israeli News Live. I don't know. Just take this man with a grain of salt. But yeah, he talks about how, okay, so, you know, the Nazis had an Antarctic base or whatever, sure. And then he says, like, then around the election of 2016, John Kerry went down to Antarctica. And at that point I was like, I don't think that's true, firstly, because like second, like after in a bit he talks about how the patriarch of the Orthodox Church goes to Antarctica, and it's like, no, he went to like Chile. Like there's a picture of him hanging out with like penguins. It's like, that's not the same thing. Just because he's hanging out with penguins, penguins don't only live in Antarctica. I need to.
He even says that there are places in Antarctica that are too deep and too desert for the penguins to live. Like,
right. No.
Follow your own logic, my dude.
No. But basically, he's just like, okay, so John Kerry, in an effort to try to prevent Donald Trump from becoming elected president, goes to Antarctica, and then there's an earthquake in New Zealand. and it's like,
you're thinking, viewer,
you're not following along. You'll remember that Donald Trump won the important electoral votes of New Zealand.
Yeah, you remember how like everybody was like, stop counting the votes in New Zealand.
Holy shit, guys! Wait.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh fuck! What's the dude's name? Oh, this joke's ruined. It's ruined.
Is it John Kerry?
No, the gladiator.
Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe. Where's he from?
Oh my god. It's all coming together.
Fuck! Ronald Reagan did it! The Newsboys! It's all connected!
It's all tied together. We're finally uncovering the mystery.
The Newsboys are Australian. Fuck!
Yes, no, exactly. This is how you get there. Basically, he's like, so John Kerry triggers an earthquake in New Zealand to try to stop Donald Trump from becoming president. Because he says the Guardians rejected Kerry's plea to put Hillary Clinton in charge of America. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm a writer. And when I write my stories, I get very nervous about putting too much lore and backstory in my stories, because like you can't do a lore dump right ahead, right? Because it's going to slow down your story, and you never know how much history you want to put in your story. You only want to put as much history as needed for your reader to keep going. You cannot get too invested in your lore. However, if you say something like, the capital G Guardians rejected Kerry's plea to put Hillary Clinton in charge of America, you do have to maybe drop in a source and be like, here are who the Guardians are. Now, if you're a person who watches these kind of videos, you probably have a good idea who the Guardians are. It's the Illuminati.
Cleveland Guardians.
It's
the baseball team.
It's how people think that Jews control the world, right? It's fill in the blank. Whoever you think is controlling the world, those are the Guardians, right? So that's why he doesn't do that. But I did think it was a very funny thing for him to say. He keeps citing these articles that are just like people's blogs. That is very funny.
I do also love, because like as a younger person, John Kerry's name means almost next to nothing for me. I know who he is, but like if John Kerry would like through his support for a candidate, I couldn't give less than two shits about what Mr. Kerry does with his time.
Well, he was a Secretary of State at the time.
Right. But also, Michael, do you remember when John Kerry ran for president?
Yeah, he almost won.
I was going to say, like, you and I probably have vague memories of that, but Josh probably not.
I remember my parents said that Bush was running against Kerry, and I was like, oh, a lady.
Incorrect. No, he was running against the guy who can control earthquakes in New Zealand, and somehow he lost, so I don't know.
Man, he lost against the guy who invented the internet and the dude who can make earthquakes in New Zealand.
Goddamn, George Bush really had God on his side.
He had the Nephilim on his side. That's how he did it. The power
he
of
just
killing
had the
Nephilim.
Supreme Court on his side, you guys.
I'm so mad.
Oh, man. The tier list is, of course, earthquakes in Antarctica, one step above that, Nephilim, one step above that, conservative justices on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And above and below all of them, voting.
The will of the people, yeah.
Democracy.
This is why all your classmates are tankies, Michael.
I know. Please vote. Bare minimum you can do.
Anyway, he goes on to say that the Patriarch of the Orthodox Church was given a secret document by Pope Francis, and then he went to Antarctica, and he's like, the Russian government, reported extensively on this, and nobody's talking about it. And it's like, yeah, I suppose they wouldn't be. I guess.
What do you guys think that message said? It's
no more schism, happy face?
I think it would just be like, gotcha, fuck you. Catholics for life, Italy rules.
I just think it was a simple flirty, do you like me? Check yes or no.
Yeah, that's much better. I like that better.
That was the old Pope too, right?
Not at this time period. This is allegedly around the same time that John Kerry goes to the Antarctic.
Right.
So
right.
Francis is new, and he's just getting access to like the angels and shit.
And he just saw.
you get your training watcher in your first year. You work your way up to the Nephilim army, and then you meet the Illuminati Grand Dragon, etc., etc.
And then you meet John Kerry.
Then you meet John Kerry, who the ruler of Planet X. This guy brings up Planet X. I don't want to talk about Planet X. I don't care about Planet X.
The destroyer of New Zealand.
It's really stupid. I don't care. I looked into it and I was like, this sucks. But like he talks about how the Russian government moved the quote Ark of Gabriel from Mecca to Antarctica, which I don't.
I would have thought this was more bullshit until all I see on my fucking Twitter is the Stone of Destiny is being moved by the King Mighty Majesty with the sword belt of wisdom. And I'm like, okay, so Europe's got funky, weird little traditions of naming things dumb things. Monarchy rots the brain.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I think this ties into a larger thing that we don't really talk about or that we don't really like consider like in our modern context. Well, kind of, right? We went from, in the span of like 100 years, like having no access to like, our government leaders and like, and knowing anything about them, to be able to like dox them on planes and like, like yell at them in the streets and like tweet angry things at them. Like the ways in which our relationship with the people who rule us has evolved over the last couple years and has been augmented by technology, right? You kind of get how like you still have people calling the crown like the Stone of Destiny or fucking whatever, right? Because like there is still a weird association with the King of England and like all of that, where at the same time like people are believing that people are keeping angels in Antarctica, and it's like, we're really not that far off from the divine right of kings in many ways. And like I think that everybody who peddles this conspiracy nonsense is full of shit, but like it is kind of just fun to think about how our relationship with government has changed so rapidly in the last 100 years that like we still very much are living in an era where like it's not that far off from when people believed in the supernatural, like just generally.
And like arguably they still do, right? Like there was a whole lot of, evangelical Christians in the wake of 2016 that was like, Trump was chosen by God, and like, you had the mega pastor praying over him. And so we're really not that far off from the divine right of kings. We just think we're better because we vote for them, and it somehow makes it different, but it's still very encoded with like destiny and all of that. But I don't know. Conspiracy theories interest me. The people who believe them interest me, and kind of scare me a little bit.
Right. I mean, this is QAnon, right?
Yeah.
It is so funny to me that like there is a section of the population that I think would believe that Nephilim, an evil angel half human hybrid people in Antarctica, threw their weight behind Hillary Clinton, but the magic of Jesus Christ behind Donald Trump carried and it's like the same thought process goes into both. I'm just saying Jesus did not cause any earthquakes.
Right.
That only John Kerry can do that.
Yes, no, John Kerry much more powerful on Earth than Jesus, I would say.
JC, I say
JK. God damn it.
John damn it.
Stop. Basically, this conspiracy video is a lot of nonsense, but like the main thing that I want to talk about basically is the idea that there is like some sort of weird base, like that either the Russians or the globalists, if you want to call them that because you're a sicko, or the Americans or whoever, like has this base in Antarctica and they're keeping something down there. Maybe it's the Ark of Gabriel, maybe it's imprisoned angels. And this leads me into a question for you all. Have either of you watched the 1990s anime Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Yes, I have.
This is one of my gaps in media. I haven't.
So
how?
I blame our parents, man.
Huh. Interesting. So I only very recently watched it. Not that recently. When it came to Netflix in like 2019. And like, this is just the plot of Ava, is that they are they're like literally like the government's keeping angels in Antarctica, and like there's like the third impact, right, is a thing that is prophesied to happen that will like change the world and destroy everything. And it's like, I can't tell whether or not, I think it's basically just like, it's a cool idea. I'm pretty sure that they're not wholly cribbing off Ava, but like the fact that there are all these ideas and conspiracies stemming around Antarctica does make you wonder how much of this is just like, oh, I saw a cool religiously themed anime and I want to turn that into a thing that will generate YouTube views.
Yeah, exactly. It, to me, when I watched it, it was after I saw your tweet, so I was like really scanning for my references, and of course, I immediately clocked it when I got to the last video. Like, oh yeah, this is just something I've seen before.
Right. And like I think that's where it comes down to. Like, this is how conspiracy theories are made, right? They take something that like either allegedly happened or like, is a bit of a creepypasta, or like they say like, oh, John Kerry took a trip to New Zealand. What can I say that is relative that I can extrapolate from that? Which is like, oh, well, the Pope and the Patriarch sent a document to New Zealand, and then John Kerry took it to Antarctica, and then an earthquake happened. And it's like, you bring in these like, tidbits of real life into your fantasy, and you build upon that, and then you create like a fun story that, about how the Illuminati is training angels, and the Nephilim are going to rise up. The Saudis are keeping Nephilim somewhere, and they're going to take over America.
But he's not prisoned there. I don't think he's prisoned there. I think he's staying there for his own choices.
I love the idea that he is both behind a chained doors, and also he's not a prisoner. It's like, man, come on, you gotta keep your fishing consistent. But
the Saudis are like, yeah, we introduced him to Netflix, and he got really chill.
Yeah, he loves the Fast and Furious franchise.
He keeps just going, Vin.
It's great.
I do want to say with these conspiracy theories, and I think this, you guys probably would agree with this one, where it all comes down to people love to find patterns, and people don't like it when random things happen. It's like the same reason there's a billion conspiracy theories around the JFK assassination, but no one is like, I bet the CIA tried to kill Ronald Reagan. Because like nothing, I mean, he made it.
Hey guys, I have a confession to make.
Did you shoot Ronald Reagan?
No, I do think the CIA did kill JFK. That's just the thing I believe. And we can talk about that later. But I read a book.
Aaron. I actually think it was the Secret Service.
I mean, yeah, like a collaborative effort, right? But
oh no, I think they fucked up. I literally think they fucked up and they killed him.
Oh, interesting.
I'll explain after the podcast.
Okay, we'll talk about
tweet me if you want to know.
Okay,
I'm truly the chaos agent of us all, because I just believe in the entropy of the universe, and some guy just kind of killed him.
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, listen,
it's boring, but
I'm not super invested in it. I just think it's like definitely possible.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Anyway,
but we're all in agreement that one random guy did just shoot Ronald Reagan, and then nothing happened, and we didn't think about it anymore.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
If you guys are
Jodie Foster's attention.
Our dad loves telling us that. It's my dad's favorite thing to go, and he's like, she has no interest in you, buddy.
All right, this has been a very unhinged episode. Oh, please.
Both Green brothers did homework.
Excellent.
Yeah. You want to go first?
I would love to, because I don't remember the first YouTuber's name that we watched, and I don't know if I want to put him on blast to all four of you that are still listening. But here's the thing. He's got other videos with some interesting thumbnails and titles, and I did click on them because I was curious about what he had to say. And they made me feel sad. I don't know if you guys ever clicked on a video that has said that you are a demon. It's not a great feeling.
Can't say I have.
He did lead to some very funny things where he said that sometimes when frogs are mentioned in the Bible, they actually mean the aliens, the Grace. And that
hold on, the gray, gray aliens.
There's like little with big eyes.
Right.
Big
this
head.
is a class of cryptid.
Yeah. The type of alien. Yeah. Those are the gray aliens. And that those aliens are not alien, but they're devils pretending to be aliens to make us believe in science instead of believing in God.
Did Marianne Williamson sponsor this man?
Yes. And also that he said that the Pentagon is now confirming that there are aliens, and that this is them trying to pull us further away from the Lord's light. Also, that all singers that go on concerts are doing pagan rituals, trying to sell our souls to devils. But don't worry, even if you sell your soul to a devil, the devil will lie to you and say there's no way out. All you have to do is accept Jesus into your heart, and then you're good. So, Michael, you're good to go to the Taylor Swift concerts. You do need to pray really hard after, and then you're fine. I know you've been worried.
I've been so worried.
The other thing, the one that bummed me out was he did say that if you use non-binary pronouns, that does mean you are the devil, because in the devil in the Bible there's Legion who says we are Legion.
So
and
fucking
conservatives
stupid.
still don't know that they can be used as a singular.
So here, in my real life, like, I have put together a presentation like Gender Pronouns 101 for cis people. Like, that's a thing that I did for work last week. And, like,
truly out there on the front lines for us, Aaron, and we thank you every day.
Genuinely, it is, like, very irritating. I was like, oh, this is how my trans friends feel every single fucking day, which is like, so actually, they, as a singular pronoun, has been around since the 14th fucking century. It's really not that hard. It's just conjugation. It's like, come the fuck on. It's annoying. I can't talk about trans shit because it gets. I'm mad.
Yeah,
it stops being fun when it's real.
Yeah.
But on the bright side, all of his videos, he does just barrel the camera with his fucking eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Like a Kubrick stare almost.
This
and
dude
just
looks
goes,
stoned out of his mind.
And in the Bible, you will see that and he always ends it with, like, make sure you're praying. I did find one comment that was angry at him because he implied that, like, the US government was trying to kill an angel. And he was like, you can't kill an angel because they're not flesh and blood. They're immortal beings.
Got him.
You know what? That was also the part I was upset with.
What can you say? When you're right, you're right.
I can look past the transphobia, but the fact that you think you can kill an angel?
Yeah, it's great.
So I went to my favorite place on the internet, a certain reddit.com, and just looked up
I'm
Nephilim.
so nervous.
And I just pulled up what the top results are. I'm only going to go on the first page because, like, what more do I need? So posted on r/conspiracy, just saw this on Twitter, and it claims it's evidence of Hillary requesting info about Nephilim. Effing wild. And it's marked with misleading title.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And, like, just for reference, Hillary's now teaching at the institution I go to. I think she's a little busy. I just don't think that she cares if there are Nephilim or not.
Guys, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start the next conspiracy theory. Benghazi was the Nephilim?
Needs work.
And I think I'm on Rogan next week.
I mean, that's all it takes. We had a conversation about how we should make Lockheed Martin woke, so that way the governor of Youngkin will fight with them the way that DeSantis is fighting with Florida. And I think that we could do Lockheed Martin, did Benghazi in order to help fight the Watchers. That might get us there.
Youngkin would love that. That's the problem, Aaron. Youngkin would be all up in that. He'd love it.
I have a few more for you guys. And
please.
So a recurring theme is that punctuation at r/conspiracy is just non-existent. So
right.
I have to
Michael,
just kind
the truth never stops.
Theory. Rothschilds are most powerful family on Earth because they are Nephilim / Anunnaki bloodline, and they get off-world assistance from that group of reptilians from ancient Sumeria. Rothschild High Priestess Naomi Campbell has a reptile eye Illuminati house, and High Priestess Embravovic loves snakes.
Michael, I cannot stand for this because it is common conspiracy fact that Anunnaki and the reptilians are at war for the world's resources, and that they would not get along. So I need this person to do their fucking research before they step up to the fucking plate.
Let's see here.
Sorry,
turns out
Naomi Campbell, the model?
Yes.
We latched onto different parts there, man.
Naomi Campbell.
Great.
There's a boring one. Iraq War started over bones of Nephilim and giants. We've covered that. The next one turns out Gilgamesh / Nimrod / Osiris / Apollo are the same Nephilim demi. The Freemasons / elites worship him. Baal / Saturn / Moloch related. Think NASA, Apollo, Saturn, Moon mission. Rex. Elon Musk is Devil's champ. These are all Freemason operations trying to resurrect Gilgamesh / Nephilim via CERN.
This is the worst Mad Libs I've ever heard. Like, this sucks.
Yeah, it's weird that when they got to a proper noun, they went with Gilgamesh.
And then I have one last one for you because it's relevant.
So Gilgamesh isn't even a god. Sorry, Michael, continue.
Man with elongated skull spotted at Trump arraignment. Got a Michael Chertoff look about him, doesn't he? Also, Rothschild. Oh, wait, there's more. Rothschild friend Naomi Campbell has an eye of Horus House with reptile pupil.
What did she fucking do? What is she doing to get all this heat?
The Anunnaki Nephilim were known to have elongated skulls. Rothschild witch friend Himmervik loves reptiles.
What are we
I will say the Anunnaki are known to have elongated skulls, so that person did do their research.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. I thought you wanted my conspiracy theory knowledge for this episode.
Wait, is that true? Is that... Oh.
Yeah, it's where, you know, like the crystal skulls?
Oh, no, I don't know the crystal skulls.
Oh, you don't know about the crystal skulls?
I am clenching my butthole so hard right now that you're not going to derail us for the next 20 minutes.
No, we have to do this off pod. I think we've gone long enough. I'm out of Reddit headlines.
Okay.
I thought this would be a 30-minute episode.
Yeah, unfortunately, we all did research and it was all bad. Great. Here's the thing that ultimately is the worst thing, is that, like, I'm currently, like, working on novels that, like, are have this kind of, like, similar plotline, like, which is, like, the Catholic Church is keeping weird, cool battle monsters underneath, you know, the Capitol building, right? Like, so I completely understand this impulse to be like, oh, there's something weird going on. It all ties back to ancient religions and magics. And, like, y'all just write a book. Just write a book. It's way easier.
And you don't even have to say it's, like, nonfiction. Like, you can make a ton of money. Graham Hancock is out there just fucking raking in the money.
Truly. Just, like, I don't know. Folks, at the end of the day, don't rip off Ava. Don't listen to people who have been out in Kandahar fighting giants. It's really going to be okay. Do we need to rate this episode?
I mean, we do. Oh my God, gentlemen. We only have 2 fucking requirements for it to be a Bible Boys episode. It's where we start the podcast and we rate the podcast. That's all we have to do.
All right, I got a rating.
All right. I'm going to give it 1 My Chemical Romance.
So, Gerard Way did do My Chemical Romance, right?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
What did I say before?
Panic at
the Disco. Damn it, you're right. Fuck. Okay.
I'm putting you on blast on Twitter after
I'm not a real emo. I listen to Linkin Park and that's it. Okay. I guess according to CNN, Pope Alexander VI was the most conspiratorial pope, so that's what I'm rating it. He's number 261 on Deadspin for you all counting.
I'm gonna give this 1 Naomi Campbell reptilian eye.
Fucking Christ. Okay. Well, when we are not doing terrible damage to our brains and YouTube algorithms, where can we be found on the internet?
I'm at Green History on the website formerly known as Twitter.
I have a brand new Twitter handle for you all, finally. I'm at that green light on Twitter, and I'm invite if any of you have it.
Very cool. I'm at AaronSXL on Twitter. My normal site is aavoigt.com, where I talk about tabletop RPGs, health policy, and writing. I do another podcast with my friend Layla. That's at Mortified Pod. We are going to we're going to release soon, hopefully, an episode about the 2013 walking simulator Gone Home. So if you want a slightly less unhinged conversation about video game history and the importance of media, good media, not Russian media, please check that out. It's a good time. I had a good conversation with Layla, and I hope you all like it. But if you all are upset that we didn't talk about your favorite conspiracy, just remember that it is okay to cry, because even Jesus wept. We'll see you all next time.